Professor Carl Sage is someone who has plenty of things to do, but always has the motivation to teach, no matter whom, at any given time.
The line I tell my students in both my introduction to theater class and all my design classes is design is storytelling. And I think that my favorite part of what I do is telling stories. When I first started out in theater in high school, long ago and a little bit far away, my original plan in high school theater was I was going to be a Tony Award winning actor before I was the age of 30. And I auditioned for various Bachelor of Fine Arts degree programs and didn't get invited into conservatory programs as an actor. Went to a community college and realized that I did have a talent for lighting. And so I changed my tactics and I went to study lighting design and technical direction. My road to teaching was through freelancing. I had been working for Disney. I left Disney and went to work a touring theater group with a regional theater. And this touring group, we went to various elementary and middle schools and we loaded in the show in 20 minutes. We did a 50-minute show. We did a 10-minute Q&A, and then we loaded the show out, and we did 3 of those shows a day at 3 different schools, potentially. And I was both stage manager, technician, designer, and I also tap danced in some of the shows, because I did perform, because there was only a cast of 4, and I was part of the cast. So we were in these theaters. Well, they weren't theaters, they were gymnasiums. And so we were in these little towns, and I began to realize that I wanted to reach out and show theater to communities that, for lack of a better word, were underserved. How to do that, in my mind, was I needed to finish my education, because at that point I had not completed my bachelor's degree. I had sadly dropped out and begun what I call my 27-year sabbatical. And B, I then wanted to teach, which required me to get my master's degree. And I wanted to reach out and educate and share theater with people. And so that's how I ended up getting on the road to becoming a professor.
What is your biggest aspirations for either teaching or just leading a production crew?
Well, I would love to continue to teach for as long as I can. That situation currently is sadly having some issues. I've had a long-term situation with a knee that was displaced by a 12-foot tall and 12-foot long Simba puppet, thanks to a production at the Magic Kingdom back in the 1990s, where my kneecap was taken out of position during a production of Legend of the Lion King. So I ended up having surgery done back then, and I ended up with osteoarthritis, and it became significantly more severe over the last 18 months. I had a total knee replacement, and fortunately that's improved my situation. But prior to that, the last 18 months, it was pretty close to bone on bone, which did degrade the quality of my production performance. I mean, it's a little hard to crawl up around in the catwalk and focus lights when bending and crawling on your knee to focus those lights. It leaves you immobile. September of 2024, I ended up hospitalized due to some what's called a hypertensive emergency. My blood pressure was 210 over 120. Ended up having some cardiac tests run and found some cardiac issues that hypothetically should have been found years ago, but I'm on medication now for those. But I want to teach, and teaching is just something that gives me such joy. There's a meme that I work so my cat can have a nice life. that you know. Normally you work separately from the scenic designer. In this case, I am scenic lighting and projections designer. So I have the pleasure of being able to collaborate with myself. And so I look at the set and I say, okay, well, I can hang a light here and I can focus it in this direction and I can get this angle. And so I start drawing out those sorts of things.
So, how long have you been working with Carl?
I believe I've been working for Carl about a year and probably almost a half now.
Alrighty, and how has that been for you?
Oh, it's been great. I love Carl so much.
How come?
He reminds me of a grunkle uncle.
Under Carl, a lot of it is relaxed and he does a lot of the things. He knows what it takes. He knows what needs to go into it and where it needs to go. And so he's taught me a lot of just being more confident in myself and a lot of just technical aspects.
One of the challenges that we're looking at is, because it's something new that we're trying for this production, first time, is we're utilizing a projection system. It's something that is not replacing, but supplementing scenic backdrops.
What do you think, in your opinion, are some kind of the current setbacks that you're facing like work?
I would say for sure like projections, because it is a big learning curve for all of us. Like Carl has to relearn how to do it, and I've never done it before, so it's a learning curve for me. But then also, it is a little bit of working with newer people, because for the longest time it has just been Carl and I. It's just been the two of us. So adding more hands is nice, but then like explaining everything on how we have to do these things to people is hard. But I mean, it's nice to have hands around.
Currently, we're dealing with like some budgeting issues where we need something for a safety thing, but in order to do that, we're kind of going on that limit of if we get it now, it'll be here by a day of showtime or a day of tech, and we need it beforehand, and the price of it is a bit outrageous.
I wish people would just know like exactly what we do, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand what we do.
I wish that people would know of what it takes for a show to run with tech, because they don't realize technical theater is the backbone for the theater, to where if you don't have someone behind the camera, someone behind the lights, someone behind the sound, the actors, the people in front can't be heard, can't be seen, and don't look good.
In addition to the setbacks that the team mentioned, Carl has plenty of other things to address. For instance, even the stage itself.
By looking at these units were not original to the theater. These units were not original to any theater. These units are automotive hydraulic lifts.
Oh.
While the stage was able to be brought down, immediately comes the issue of the sound system, which proves to be complicated due to the setup.
So the question is it top and bottom? But I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah.
I also am not 100% certain how I route the signal for the monitor.
Thankfully, Carl addresses all these issues even when he has to balance managing his team while teaching a whole separate class, just in time before the show.
Carl will bend over backwards to do anything you ask him to do. And also, he does his best to try to find alternative ways. I would say he has inspired me because I look at him and I see how hard he works for this department. And it is very hard to find a person that you can work with and is very passionate about something, and he's just a very hardworking and caring man.
I enjoy the work that I've done with Carl, and I've enjoyed being under him and learning from him and just being there to say, hey, let's go like this, let's do this, and go from there and see what happens. He's not afraid to be wrong, he's not afraid to make mistakes, he's not afraid to admit his faults, and overall, I am just relieved that I'm able to learn underneath someone so human.
I would love for them to take away a little bit, even just as much, of the joy of the experience of going to a show and saying, oh yeah, I see what's happening here. My purpose is for them to take away some understanding of the art form so that when they go to a Hayes Community Theater show or something at TMP or Hayes High, they can go, I can see the storytelling. I understand it better. That's what I want for my students.